it's Hazel again from HS Accountants, and today I thought I'd take the chance to explain retentions to everybody. They seem to be something that we all can't quite get our head around. So when you're a business in Spain, you're going to come across retentions quite a lot, because basically in English this is withholding tax. Okay, so there are two main types of retentions basically that we're going to come across, certainly when you're in business in Spain. One of which are the professional ones, and the second ones are what we call the rent retentions. So basically, as I've explained, retentions are really just withholding tax. So let's give you an example. So if you were a tenant of a business premises in Spain, your landlord is going to hold a retention on his invoice for you. So basically, the example of it simply would be, say your rent was €1,000 a month, and then your landlord comes along and adds on the VAT, which is 21% currently in Spain, so there's 210 on top of that. So a normal invoice, without any of this withholding tax retention, would just be a normal straight €1,210. So what happens next? Well, because the landlords basically traditionally didn't pay their own tax, the retention rate, which currently is 15%, but it can be any percentage rate really, gets deducted from the invoice. So in the example of 15%, we're going to take €150 off because it's based on the rent. So that is deducted, taken off the invoice. So the final figure is the €1,210 less the 150 to come to the final figure that you pay to the landlord. Okay, now what happens to this 15%? Well, this is tax, and it's tax that the tenant is really paying on behalf of the landlord. So at the end of the quarter, the tenant's accountant will take the 3 months of retentions for the quarter and pay them on behalf of the landlord to the tax office, so that when the landlord comes to do his income tax return at the end of the year, he has some of this tax banked on his behalf. That's basically what it means. Now, the same principle applies to professional retentions, but they're levied by people who are considered to be professional people. So people like doctors, lawyers, accountants, anyone who's really got any qualifications, who exercises their business as autonomo, also has to deal with retentions. So what happens there? So if you were a business buying a service from a professional business, then they will also send you an invoice for their services. Now, use the same example as easy maths. So €1,000 for the services, they're going to add on the IVA, the VAT, the €210, and again they're going to reduce their invoice payable by the professional retention rate, which currently is 19%, but again can vary and will vary, and doesn't matter what it is. So in this example, €190 is deducted from the invoice for the client, and the client pays the difference. And again, every 3 months at the end of the quarter, those retentions, that withholding tax, is paid by the client on behalf of the professional that they contracted the services from. Now, in these examples, it's really important to tell you that this is only to do with businesses. Okay, so if you're not in business, you're not going to come across the same type of retentions that I've explained in this video. These are for people who are in business and they are dealing with other professionals, or they are renting business premises from a business landlord. So basically, at the end of the day, it can be quite complicated to understand, but if you think withholding tax, retained, it's just withheld from the person that you need to pay and paid on their behalf to the tax office. And that really is kind of retentions in a nutshell. I hope that's been helpful.